In this class, we are going to understand basics of programming part 2. Like first one is we are going to understand memory. So what is a memory? The memory is used to store values so that calculations can be performed. Okay. The internal memory of computer is RAM, random access memory. So the RAM is a memory which is present inside the computer. How does this particular RAM looks like? Let me show you here. Okay. So a RAM is a collection of cells like this. RAM is a collection of cells. This is what it will divide into what? Cells. Like this it is divided into cells. Okay. And these are called as what? Cells. And this is what we call as RAM, random access memory. And each cell is given one number. Okay. Each cell is given one number. The number is what? 101, 102, 103, 104. And this is 105, 106, 107, 108. And these particular numbers are called as cell addresses. Called as what? Cell addresses. Okay, right. So this is what the RAM is all about. RAM is a collection of cells. Memory is a collection of cells, and each cell have a number. Starting from 1, it will be actually I am writing from 101. Okay, and these numbers are always present sequential, and these numbers are called as cell addresses. Okay, right. Now how to store values into this memory? How to store values into memory? To store values into memory, we can use, okay, we can use variables concept. We can use what? Variables concept. Okay, let me give you a small example. Okay, so let us write one small example program. Okay, example, I say that a is equal to 10. Okay, b is equal to 5.6. I am giving. Okay, what are this a and b? A and b are called as variables. Are called as what? Variables. So what happens when you write like this? A is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Whenever you store values into the variables, now what does a computer do now? The computer will select one cell, and in that cell it will store a value like this. It will store the value. Okay. Now b means it will select one cell, one empty cell it will select. It may select one cell or it may select two cells. That depends upon the data types. That I will tell you later on. Okay. Now these cells are given the name called as b and stored with what? 5.6. In these cells 5.6 it will store. Okay. So like this, to store values into the memory, we use what? Variables. So variables are used to store values into memory. Okay. So this is what we called as what? Memory, please. Okay, let us have this one. Okay, right. Now what are variables? Now we are going to discuss about variables. Okay, a variable is a name given to cell or cells in the memory where constant values are stored. Okay, so this is what I have given, a variable name given to this particular 101 cell where the 10 is stored. So b is a name given to these two cells where the 5.6 is stored. Okay, like this. So employee number is a variable, salary is a variable, and grade is a variable. All these three variables will be created in what? Memory. Okay, okay, right. Now we have to follow some rules. Okay, variable naming rules. But before that, we understand one more thing, please. Okay, let us understand. Now let me make you understand furthermore. One cell can store how much information? Okay, one cell in the memory can store 1 byte of information. Let me tell you this particular thing. Okay, now one cell can store 1 byte of information. Okay, one cell can store 1 byte of information. What is 1 byte? 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Means 8 zeros and ones. So what is a bit? Bit is equal to either 0 or 1. Bit is equal to either 0 or 1. Okay, like this. So 8 collection of zeros and ones, is called as what? 1 byte. So one cell can store what? 1 byte of information. Therefore in the memory cells, suppose if you take a cell, okay, this is what your memory, assume that. Okay, this memory cell is again divided into 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. This is a cell. If you take, it is divided into what? 8 parts. In this 8 parts, okay, in this, okay, let me go here. Okay, in this particular cell parts, it is going to store like this, okay, zeros and ones. So in the memory cell, the information is stored in what? Zeros and ones. Means what? Machine language or what? Binary language. Machine language or binary language. Now let me give you one example. For example, a is equal to 12. How this 12 is going to be stored? Let me say that a is a, okay, a is a name given to this particular cell where the 12 is stored. Okay, but how exactly this particular a cell is stored with a value? That is what now I am going to explain. So a is a cell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, how this 12 is stored into this particular cell? In binary language. What is the binary language of 12? How you are going to calculate the binary language of 12? Okay, so I convert the 12 into binary language, means decimal to binary conversion. So 12 I am going to convert into binary, dividing by 2, because binary base is how much? 2. Binary base is 2, therefore divide by 2. 2 6 are 12, remainder is what? 0. Okay, 2, how many times it goes? 2 3 are 6, so nothing is left, therefore 0. Okay, 2 1s are 2, how much left? 1, therefore I write 1 here. Then 2 not divisible, therefore 0 I put here, and this one I carry here 1. Okay, once you get 0, stop it. Now write down from bottom to top. Okay, what is that? Is 1100. So this 1100 is the binary of 12. Okay, binary of 12. Now this particular 1100 will store here. So 1100 it will store. Remaining will be zeros. Like this, any value is stored into the variable in binary language or what? Machine language, like this. Okay, so remember this particular thing. Now let me copy paste here. Right, this is what happens with this particular thing. Right. Okay, right. Now we are going to understand variable naming rules. To give the variable names, we have to follow some rules. That is what the first rule is like this. Variable name should begin with an alphabet or underscore and can contain digit. Means like this, name is a variable. Okay, underscore empid is a variable. So name compulsory. Variable name should start with what? Alphabet or begin with what? Underscore. Like this amp2. It can also contain like this digit also it can contain. Okay, all these are correct. But 2emp, this is wrong, because starting with what? Digit. So variable name should not start with what? Digit, which will give what? Error. Okay, wrong. Okay, fine. Next one is what? Variable name should not contain spaces and special symbols. Like this, special symbols you should not contain. For example, if you take emp name is equal Rajesh, here you can see there is a space. So if the variable name contains space, it is what? Wrong. Wrong means error. Okay, error, please, error. Okay, then basic hyphen salary, this is a minus sign, hyphen, this is also wrong. Okay, then stood dot name, so dot is a special symbol, therefore it is a wrong. So variable name should not contain spaces, special symbols like this it should not contain, which is wrong. Okay, next one, C is case sensitive language where it can identify difference between lowercase letters and uppercase letters. What does it means? Here it is, C is case sensitive language, uppercase and lowercase. C language differentiates between small letters and capital letters. Okay, therefore in C language capital letters and small letters both are not same. Okay, for example, capital A is not equal to small a, both are not equal. Okay, this is what I mean to say is both are not equal, please, not equal. Okay, so this is also both are not equal, please. This is also king and king, both are not equal because these are capital letters and here only one capital and remaining things are small letters, both are not equal. Okay, right, this is what you remember. Next, variable name should not be same as keywords in C. So there are some keywords present in the C language. There are 32 keywords are there. These are the keywords. These are the predefined names present in the C language. So your variable name should not be similar to keyword. See, this variable name should not be similar to your keyword. Okay, because int and if are keyword names which are already present in the C language. That names you should not use. If you use the same variable names as that of keywords, then it will be what? Wrong. This is what? Error. Okay, so int is a keyword, therefore it is a wrong. If is a keyword, therefore it is a wrong. So variable name should not be same as keywords. Okay, these are the 4 important rules that you remember. So whenever you give the variable name, you should see that it should begin with either alphabet or underscore, and variable name should not contain spaces and what? Special symbols, and small letters and capital letters are not same in the C language, and variable name should not be same as keywords in C. Okay, right. Now we are going to understand keywords. What are keywords? Okay, keywords are the reserved words whose meanings are predefined in the language and does not change. Means C language provides some words, reserved words. Means for example, int is there, struct is there, break is there, else. These words have predefined meaning in the language. Like in English language, like apple is a word which have the meaning, it's a fruit. Okay, like similarly boy. Okay, like a cat, like a dog, like tiger, some words are present. These words have what? Predefined meaning in the English language. Using these meanings only, using this particular words only, in English we speak and we understand. So similar to our English language, C language also have some words. That words are called as what? Keywords. Okay, but when we come to the English language, we have large number of words are present, but when we come to the C language, there are only 32 keywords are present. Okay, right. So let me explain now. Keywords are the reserved words whose meanings are already present in the language and they never change. Keywords are one of the major parts of the C. In C, keywords are major part. Okay, using keywords only we write and understand programs in C. So in order to write the programs, in order to understand a C program, we have to know the meanings of what? Keywords. Okay, so how many keywords are present when we come to C language? There are 32 keywords in C. They are like auto, double, int, struct, break, else, long, switch. Like these 32 keywords are present, and all these 32 keywords we have to remember. Okay, so because these particular keywords, these names we should not use for variables. Okay, let me say that note. Okay, variable names, okay, like function names, okay, like program names, etc., should not be, okay, should not be same as keyword names, should not be same as keyword names. Okay, so whenever you give a name in the program, that name should not match with this 32 keywords. Is that clear? Right, this is what the keywords in C language. Okay, right. So we understand the meanings of these keywords one after the other later on. While writing the program, I will explain the meanings and how to use these keywords in writing the programs. I will explain later on. Okay, so therefore in this class we have understood about what? Memory. Memory is used for storing the values. Okay, and variables are used to store values into memory. Okay, and we have discussed about what? Variable, and one more thing, in the memory information is stored in what? Machine language or binary language in zeros and ones. Then variable naming rules we have understood, and finally the keywords. There are 32 keywords in the C language. Once we learn the meanings of all these 32 keywords, we will complete our C language. Okay, right.